Hello there and welcome to another lockdown video here on Pleasure Beach Experience YouTube. Today we're going to be talking about the impact that coronavirus is having on the amusement industry. So I've been joined by Paul, our new recruit, and
Becca.
well, hey, so here we are again, another
Yes.
lockdown video.
Back on the couch.
Yes, we are. Now I can't remember who asked, but we did name Paul.
Yes.
As requested, the Pleasure Beach puppy.
He has been well loved by Charlie.
Yes, there's been lots of cuddles.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very well received, so once again, thanks to Blackpool Pleasure Beach. But yeah, we have quite a lot to talk about the industry, because yesterday it was announced that, yesterday at the time of filming, that M&D's have sadly gone into administration. Now M&D's was once your local.
Yes, it was. It was the closest place. It was the place that we went on school trips. I know in England a lot of people go to Alton Towers with school, they go to Blackpool Pleasure Beach with school. If down south, I imagine they go to Thorpe.
They probably go to Towers as well.
Yeah, so these English people have a lot of nice parks to go to.
Yeah.
But growing up in Edinburgh, borders kind of area of Edinburgh, not Scottish borders, M&D's was the place to go. I mean, we did have another one, Loudon Castle.
Yeah.
That's been gone for quite some time now, though. I never really got there, but I did go to M&D's. Yes, it wasn't the greatest thing, but we had something.
Yeah, and now there's nothing.
It is quite sad that...
It is.
I mean, all you've got left now is Cadona's up in Aberdeen.
Which is a long, long, long way if you don't live in that area.
Yeah.
So I remember when we went to Aberdeen this time 5 years ago, and I drove from Crewe to Edinburgh first, and then we drove to Aberdeen. That was one of the longest days I've ever had in the car.
And I have since found out that they've ruined the route up there, so we won't be going back anytime soon because it's average speed cameras on the motorways up there.
Not that we ever speed. So,
no, but I still won't be putting up with that.
No, it will be a pain in the backside, that.
We'll go up on the train at some point.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, we want to talk about the impact that coronavirus is likely to have on the industry. That is obviously the first casualty in this country.
Yeah.
It's really sad. For me, I've never been to M&D's, and I know a lot of people say you probably haven't missed much, but it would have been nice to go, and I just think that even though we don't go to Scotland as often as we probably should, it's a shame there's no theme parks up there now, because I just feel bad for people who live in Scotland that like theme parks, because now Blackpool really is your theme park, and that is bonkers when you consider how far it is. And I just feel like Scotland as its own country should have a theme park.
Yeah.
Whether the weather's crap or not, there should still be a theme park. Now, hopefully, one of the theme park operators of Britain will buy that land.
Pick them up, hopefully. I mean, they could probably do something with the way it's laid out. It's got a good entrance structure. It's right next to hotels. I don't know if they owned one of the hotels. I saw something that maybe they do. Not too sure. But yeah, I'm just sad that I'll never again get to see two-train SLC with two stations being run by one op.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, that we'll never get to see that again.
If you've been to M&D's and you've seen this, please let me know about this in the comment. I want to hear your stories about M&D's, because like I say, I've never been, and I can only go off what you've told me, and it sounds interesting. Yeah,
some of the most painful rides you'll ever do, but also very classic old roller coasters, which they did the job. Yeah, they did the job. Like I say, it was a theme park for Scotland. It may not have been Blackpool, it may not have been Towers, but it was at least something. Yeah, and I think it's a real shame that there is now going to be nothing. Let's hope somebody takes that land on, or let's hope, for the sake of all the staff who have been made redundant, that somebody can help M&D's and get all the staff back first, and then maybe build on it. Hopefully someone like Norman Wallace, who saved Southport, a Scottish sort of Norman Wallace kind of person, can... I don't know if Norman Wallace is actually Scottish, but I'm just saying, as an example, someone from up your way will hopefully be able to do what Norman's done with Pleasureland Way, just restores it, gets it going again. Yeah. But yeah, we feel like that could be the first of quite a few. We're not going to name parks that we're worried about, because I think it's disrespectful to their owners and the staff, but I think in general the UK amusement industry is probably in a time of crisis with this, because
we've just been past one of the busiest times of the year, especially for a park I will name, Blackpool.
Yeah.
Blackpool is, for Easter, Blackpool loves Easter. You
Yeah.
get so many people there, whether they go Pleasure Beach or not. So as a town, Blackpool will have been suffering for that.
Yes.
And then if we miss the May bank holidays, which is looking extremely likely because of next week, we're going to miss one, then you're going to miss the second one. And then you start going, we're nearly in the main summer.
Yeah.
So it's going to have a massive impact on the whole industry. And that's why I've said in a couple of videos now, I just really want to support the industry when the parks are open again. We've got to stay local, I think, to start with.
Because we've got such a massive knock-on effect as well. I mean, in Blackpool, near Thorpe and Chessie, places near Towers, B&B owners, they're going to be struggling right now because they're getting nothing in, and they're going to all have to fight for the business once things open up again. If the parks go under,
exactly,
they've got a massive problem.
I mean, you'd think that the Merlin parks are probably pretty safe, but the family-owned ones are the ones you really have to worry about.
I think at this stage you can't even count on the big ones because, I mean, if companies like Virgin Atlantic are struggling...
Yeah, and Six Flags over in America are having a bad time.
Companies like that won't think twice about, that one earns the least, cut that one, keep the others going. You know, we could see some surprising closures.
Yeah, let's hope not, but it certainly feels like that is a big possibility.
Yeah.
And I think as well, in terms of investment, obviously there will be some investment that's already been made by parks that are looking to, say, next year, the year after, and so on, because as we've seen from going to the IAPA Expos, it's not a case of like when you buy a new telly from somewhere where we just go in and go, I'll have that, and the next day you've got it in your living room. With a coaster, you've got to plan where it's going to go, you've got to find your budget, you've got to plan it all with the manufacturer, you've got to design it,
planning permission,
you've then got to find the time for the manufacturer to make the track and stuff like that. It's not a case of ringing up B&M and saying, hey guys, I'll have a B&M invert in my garden next week. It just takes a massive amount of time. As an example, Icon, 5 years of planning for Pleasure Beach before things started.
Yeah.
And you feel sorry for places like Poulton's Park that we're going to open Tornado Springs literally in like 2 or 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. Now we're going to be seeing it in Easter 2021, and I feel so sorry for them.
Yeah.
So much work has gone into that area.
I am glad that they've pushed it though, rather than trying to hold on to this year.
Yeah, definitely.
What I feel like will happen is if people just push these events back, then as soon as everything's go again, there's going to be such a rush and these events aren't going to get the attention that they need. Whereas I think just moving it to next year, they're going to be able to put the effort, time, get everything as they want it.
Yeah, because I'd imagine like they still have quite a few things to do with in terms of testing the coaster and finishing stuff off. You'd imagine that they wouldn't want to, after 3 years of hard graft, to go, we're just going to rush it now. So I think they've made the right decision.
Yeah, I do.
But I think what I will say is if the parks reopen this year, I will go to Poulton's this year. I think we will go to Poulton's because I want to support them. It looks like a good park without Tornado Springs. It's
Great
just
place for Charlie.
Exactly, and it looks like a good family day out, and I think it's something that we will definitely do when we get the opportunity. Yeah. Whether it's before or after Tornado Springs, we'll definitely be doing it. But I also want to support parks that we've not been for ages. Places like Drayton Manor, which is quite local to us, but we've just not got round to it.
Yeah.
I don't know what their situation, but even so, they're the kind of park I want to support when we get going again. But yeah, it's a big knock-on effect. Like I say, I hope there's no more closures, but I just think there will be.
Yeah. But yeah, with the knock-on effect, we've got to think about the manufacturers as well, because even though slots are already booked up for a certain amount of time, in a couple of years we're going to see quite a big lull.
Yeah.
And you've then got manufacturers not making money, steel not being bought, wood not being bought, supplies not being bought. I mean, even the industry I now work in, we'll see the knock-on effect of these things not being built because we sell building supplies and things like that. So when these things aren't going out, it has a massive, massive knock-on effect, because not buying steel then goes on to the places that make the steel.
Yeah, exactly.
The people employed there.
And then you have the knock-on effect to companies like the roller coaster construction services,
Yes.
who build the roller coasters. Yeah, of course they'll still have work, but they might not have quite as much. You've then got to think about the people who get employed to take photos and film promos for the rides when they open. A good friend of mine does that, and I'm of course worried about his business of the knock-on effect of two things, Corona and Brexit, and it's double whammy. Yeah. And I'm not getting political, it's just double whammy. It's just the way it's going to go at the minute. And I'm massively worried for everyone, whether it's theme parks, families, businesses. We've got our own little small business what we've got to worry about. You've got your job to worry about like that. And you just think, where's it going to end? Where is this going to end?
Yeah.
And yes, it's great having all this family time in the lockdown. But at the same time, when we've got a toddler, it's like... We want to do something with him because he's just like getting so peed off of not being able to do what he's so used to us taking him to Blackpool.
Yeah.
And he's asking for, in his own 2-year-old way, he's asking for videos on the telly of Blackpool in his best way. It's daddy viddies because he just wants to remember Blackpool, and it's tough for everyone.
Yeah.
It really is tough for everyone. But I think moving on to a more Blackpool subject, we have been asked a lot about Valhalla.
Yes.
In terms of, do we still think Valhalla will be reimagined for 2021? My honest opinion is no.
Not a chance. I mean, if you've been on Valhalla, if you've done the events we've been able to go behind the scenes in Valhalla, think about how much space is in there. It's a lot of that space is quite cramped.
Yeah, it is.
You can't social distance and work on that ride.
No.
It's not going to happen, so I don't know why people seem to think that people are still working on Valhalla. It's just not going to be happening.
Yeah, I think because I don't think Pleasure Beach's maintenance team would be classed as key workers, so I don't think they'll be allowed to go in and work on Valhalla at this stage. And I think that it's really sad for Pleasure Beach because next year is a big year for them, the 125th year anniversary. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure that Valhalla fit into everything they've been planning for it massively. But my honest opinion is, if it opens next year, it will open as it closed last year. And that's not saying that they're not efficient. That's just the way the world is. Yeah. Nobody can get in there and work on it at this point, and
it's not safe to do so.
And it's not classed as a key worker job, so they just won't be able to do anything. So I think if it does open next year, you're going to be looking at August time. I think, but I just don't think so. I think give them till 2022 now. Give them the year that they were going to have this year to do it next year, and then we have all the excitement of Pleasure Beach's big anniversary next year, and the year after we get new Valhalla. So in a year that probably nothing else would be happening, we get what feels like a new ride.
Yeah.
And then considering it'll be 2 years without Valhalla, everyone will be well excited for it. Well, not 2 years.
We're almost dried off by then.
Yeah, that's true. Not 2 years without Valhalla, about 18 months. But you know what I mean. It would be everyone would be chomping at the bit who likes it to get on it, and all of us who are intrigued by what is planned will want to get on it again. But yeah, I'm generally like, because Pleasure Beach is our park that we most think about. It is somewhere I'm worried about. I don't think they'll close. But I think they'll have to make massive changes for how they go on in the next couple of years. Now, you go back to the double dip recession, 2008, 9, 10 kind of time. We had to see ride closures, and we had to see reduced hours, and we had to see ride rotation, which at the time we were like, oh, this is not very good. But now looking back as an older, more mature person, I can see why they did it, and I totally respect why they did it, because I don't think we'd have Pleasure Beach if they hadn't made those tough decisions. And if they have to start this year when they reopen, if they can, or next year with half of the park shut or on rotation, do you know what? I'm all for it. Yeah, I'll miss not being able to go, let's do 10 coasters in a day. But if it means Pleasure Beach is there in 2030, I'm all for it. Yeah. I will back anything that they choose to do at the minute, unless Big One gets shut. But that's not going to happen. So you just know that's not going to happen, seriously. But whatever they have to do, we will get on board and support them best we can, because I'm quite happy for a diet Pleasure Beach for a few years if it means that Pleasure Beach is there when Charlie is a teenager and older, and he gets to enjoy it like we did. Mm-hmm. And I think that's all I can say on that, really. Yeah. But I don't think Valhalla will open next year. Genuinely don't.
No.
And that's not based on anything I've heard anyway. I just genuinely, personal opinion, I don't see it happening.
No, where are they going to get the supplies?
Yeah.
Staff can't be going in, it's too enclosed.
Yeah.
Where's the money coming from?
Yeah, exactly. There's nothing at the
They're
minute.
not bringing in money, so they're not going to spend
No.
the money at the minute. They can't
Just
risk it.
Buy lots of new Pleasure Beach merch.
Yes,
We might get
support
Valhalla
them.
next year. But otherwise, there's not many ways of making money at this point for them.
No.
But at least they're not spending anything on running costs, I suppose.
Well, that's true. Going back to a previous point.
Okay.
So we said we think in a couple of years there might be a dip in specifically coaster building.
Yeah.
A lot less new coasters. Is that when we might finally start seeing some flat rides?
Probably not.
I can hope.
You can hope. You can hope. Mike can hope. Doug can hope. And quite a lot of people can hope.
I just think it'd be a good time because they don't always cost as much as a coaster.
No, they rarely
I'm
cost.
talking things like Rush, because I think every park should have one.
Yeah. Do you know what I think every park should have? Like Loki at Leesburg.
Yes.
That is just incredible. If I did a top 10 video where it's rides and coasters, Loki would be in the top 5.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if it's its location, but when you swing over Balder and you feel like you're about to clip your feet off the train that's just gone under you, and then you lift out of your seat, that is just incredible. But I'm all for everyone buying one of those.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm sure Intamin would be all for it as well. But yeah, absolutely.
But you know, it might be a good time. There's less groundwork. They've got to be cheaper to put in. So maybe that's what we'll start seeing after the dip.
Yeah, bit of a gap filler
Yeah.
between being able to get coasters, get people interested again. Because there's no saying that people will want to do theme parks straight away once they reopen, because people might be a little bit wary of thinking, close contact, we're sat on a train with 20 odd other people, we're in a tight stations, we're touching restraints that other people have touched, we're touching fences that other people have leaned on and stuff. So people might not be as eager to do theme parks. I hope
But
they
as
are.
well, the amount of people that have lost their jobs, that are only on 80% pay, people might not be able to afford it.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be a tough time. So with that in mind, would you, in say a park's position, say, right, well, for the next couple of months we're going to have a much cheaper price range, or do you stick where you stick or twist?
No, I think for the remainder of the year, if we actually get any parks open, that it should be reduced, cover costs, make sure you get through this part of the season, just get people in.
Yeah, in any which way.
Gonna have to fight for those people, so the easiest way is make it affordable for them.
Yeah, I would definitely get on board with sort of Pleasure Beach going with a much cheaper wristband option, especially if they have to reduce the ride offering.
Yeah.
But I think it would be a great way to get people in over the illuminations. I know they've got to cover running costs, so I know that they're a business and they need to make profit to be sustainable in the future. But I think maybe if they look at going down the route of something like Celebrate Summer that they did in 2009, where it was like 20 quid in the summer.
Yeah.
I know we're not going to have a summer, but if they did that, say the illuminations and Pleasure Beach is open, I think they might get a lot of people in.
I also think they need to have a good hard think about opening hours.
Oh, definitely.
Make the days longer. Make the most money you can in a day. Don't be closing at 5 o'clock and calling it a day.
I think,
yes, the running costs, but the more people, you've got the opportunity.
I think they've got to have a leap of faith in the Saturdays at Illuminations.
Yeah.
Go for the 10 o'clock close. Open a bit later in the day when people have got over their hangovers from going out in the Velvet Coaster and bloody Pop World and places like that. Let people get over their hangovers and then let them have a full day at it in Pleasure Beach. Pack the park, sell Speedy Pass, sell merchandise.
Yeah.
And then hopefully things will improve from there. But we don't even know that they'll be open, but that's what I'd like to see them do, definitely. And I think while we're on the subject of Pleasure Beach, before we move on to the impact that Corona is having on us as Pleasure Beach experience, one last thing to talk about is I don't think Pleasure Beach will open over the winter other than the planned New Year's Eve event, if that even happens now. But I think they won't do like, I know a lot of people are asking, do we think the season will be extended? Even though the rides aren't operating, they will still have to be maintained at the same schedule because Pleasure Beach will still plan to open in February next year, I guess.
There will still be things outstanding that they'd always planned to do this winter.
Yeah.
That's not the kind of stuff you can just put off.
No.
It's kind of like MOT in a car, I suppose. Yeah. If you don't know a lot about a coaster, they have to go through certain tests.
Yeah.
They have to be certificated. There's stuff that they will need to do.
There'll still be ADIPS tests.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
They can't just call off the winter.
No.
It's not that simple.
It's like having a car. As an example, my mum's car, it doesn't get driven as often as your car or my car, but it still has to have the same MOT. Yeah. That's the thing. It still has to have its same level of checks, maintenance, work and all that, even if it's not used as much as, say, a coaster in a country that's no longer in lockdown.
Yeah.
They'll still need the same level of work, and it might be a good thing in the way that some of the woodies might sort of last a little bit longer in terms of the structures not being used as much at this point, but I'm sure we'd all agree we'd rather they were being used at this point. Absolutely. So I think we can move on to the impact of coronavirus on Pleasure Beach experience. As you'll have probably seen, uploads have gone to a maximum of 2 a week, which is not what I like to do. Normally likes to be, at this time of the year, I was aiming for probably daily uploads from this point. At the very time of filming, I should be at Port Ventura. I'm glad I'm not, because if this was all still hanging over us, I would not want to be in a theme park.
No.
But we just got to roll with it. The impact is that we can't really do a lot, and we're trying our best to come up with ideas, to try and be interesting. We don't want to do what everyone else is doing because everyone else is doing it well. I think we all want to have a bit of variety, and we've always done things a little bit differently, and I think we want to try and keep with that.
We don't want to force anything either.
Yeah.
If we're going to put content out there, it needs to be good.
Yeah.
There's no point in just filling all your time with nonsense. Really.
Yeah. We don't want to sort of keep putting stuff out there that doesn't really sit with a standard that we'd like to work to. I mean, we could go through the archives from years gone by and upload some old POVs, but I just don't see the point. No. Really don't see the point of it. The POVs are in vlogs. We don't need to upload every POV we've done. We're trying to be creative with some of the footage we've got. We've done the bloopers reel now. We've got park footage videos on, which I am going through all the archives of the 4K filming that I've done to do some 4K park footage videos. I was going to do one from Thorpe Park until I realised that half of the park was missing from my Thorpe Park footage because I've just not filmed stuff. I've not filmed stuff like Darren Brown's, Vortex, Zodiac, Quantum, because I don't ever go on them. And if I don't go on them and sometimes they're closed, so I just don't get around to filming them. So coasters are easier to film anyway. But it would have been more of a Thorpe Park 4K coaster video, and we've done that before. Yeah, and no footage of Walking Dead because all I can get is the sign. So that is it. Yeah. So yeah, unfortunately that ship sailed and went off along with the Fort Bell somewhere because it just wasn't happening. But yeah, I'm still working on a Leesburg 4K park footage. I've still got some behind the scenes stuff from Leesburg to share as well. But like I say, we're just trying to prolong it over the shutdown of not being able to do anything, rather than just going, yeah, we'll put everything we've got on at once and then have a massive time where we've got nothing. So we're just trying our best, but we've had to cancel Portaventura for this week. We've had to cancel Portugal in May, which was a family holiday as well as a PB filming holiday, which is pretty upsetting because it was my dad's 60th and Charlie's second birthday, and it ties in so nicely for a family holiday. So that's just not worked out, and that's going to have to wait for probably a while now, and once again we miss out on those Portuguese water parks.
Yeah.
Moving ahead to then June, we were off to Cedar Point and Kennywood. That one's been put on hold. And then we're now looking at July. We're meant to be doing Poland and doing Zadra, the RMC, going to Energylandia for the first time, and it's looking like that's going to get canned as well. And then you're looking further afield and we've replanned, Europa Park as well. That was in June. So my theme park 2020 plans video didn't age very well because I don't think we're going to be doing any of it. But it's just one of those things. But what I will say is when we get back to things being back to normal, normally we're pretty quiet over winter, aren't we, other than Pleasure Beach updates. That's not going to happen this time. We're just, as soon as the park's open, this channel's going to be mega active. There's going to be so much going on it. And it won't be forced. It's just because we've got that much planned, it's all going to end up in a short space of time. and we've still got 4 events to reschedule.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's going to be busy once things get back to normal. Yeah. That's for sure. If you were booked onto any of the events at Towers, Pleasure Beach and Foot, we've not forgotten about them. We've not communicated out to everyone because there is literally no updates.
But as soon as we do, everyone booked on will be communicated with.
Definitely.
We'll sort something out.
And we're still working behind the scenes on America 2021 too. We're still getting replies off hotels and some of the parks. So we're still working on that one. Whether it can now be on sale in September, I don't honestly know. But we're trying our best, and that event, if the world is back to normal, that event will happen. I have lost so much sleep looking at hotels on Google Maps that trip is happening.
Yeah.
Even if it has to be September next year, at some point next year that trip's happening. But as it stands, it still remains to be June. I've planned out an announcement video for it. I sat up in bed last night writing it because I was like, I've got to write this down before I go to sleep because otherwise I won't sleep. But yeah, I think we've covered our coronavirus update for now for the channel and the parks, and Paul's happy.
Yeah.
He's going to be in a couple more videos, I would imagine. Really can't remember who asked in the comments about Paul, the Pleasure Beach puppy, but he's got a name, he's in the video, and he's been sharing opinions in our ear as well. So, but yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next Pleasure Beach Experience video.